Catastrophe: a sudden and disastrous event or situation that causes extensive damage, suffering, or loss. Natural catastrophe: human-made catastrophe, environmental catastrophe, economic catastrophe, health catastrophe, political catastrophe, social catastrophe, personal catastrophe, global catastrophe. The earthquake that struck the region was a catastrophic event, leaving entire towns in ruins and claiming many lives. Conclusive: something that provides a final or decisive resolution, outcome, or evidence. Conclusive evidence, conclusive proof, conclusive result, conclusive findings, conclusive argument, conclusive statement, conclusive agreement, conclusive decision. The DNA test results were conclusive, matching the suspect's genetic profile to the evidence found at the crime scene. Comprehend: to understand or grasp the meaning, significance, or nature of something. Comprehend a theory, comprehend a language, comprehend a situation, comprehend complex ideas, comprehend the instructions, comprehend the implications, comprehend the context, comprehend the relationship. After studying the subject thoroughly, she was able to comprehend the intricate details of the scientific theory. Cognitive: the mental processes and activities associated with thinking, learning, understanding, and perceiving. Cognitive abilities: cognitive development, cognitive skills, cognitive neuroscience, cognitive function, cognitive psychology, cognitive impairment, cognitive assessment, cognitive enhancement, cognitive workload. The study focused on the cognitive abilities of children in relation to problem-solving and decision-making skills. Carbon dating: a scientific method used to determine the age of organic materials or archaeological artifacts by analyzing the amount of carbon-14 present in them. Carbon dating technique, carbon dating method, carbon dating analysis, carbon dating process, carbon dating accuracy, carbon dating results, carbon dating laboratory, carbon dating samples, carbon dating archaeology, carbon dating fossils. The carbon dating of the ancient bone fragment revealed it to be approximate. Corporate: something related to or characteristic of a corporation or a large business entity. Corporate culture, corporate governance, corporate strategy, corporate responsibility, corporate finance, corporate branding, corporate headquarters, corporate social responsibility, corporate merger, corporate image. The company's corporate strategy focuses on expanding its market share through strategic acquisitions. Compensated: being provided with payment, reward, or remuneration in return for services rendered, losses incurred, or damages suffered. Financially compensated: adequately compensated, compensated work, compensated leave, compensated overtime, compensated for damages, compensated for time lost, compensated benefits, compensated vacation, compensated employees. The injured worker was compensated for their medical expenses and lost wages. Cross-section: a representative sample or segment that is taken from a larger whole or population to provide insight or analysis. Cross-section analysis, cross-section study, cross-section sample, cross-section data, cross-section diagram, cross-section view, cross-section survey, cross-section analysis, cross-section measurement, cross-section interpretation. The cross-section of the population included individuals from various age groups and backgrounds. Concern: a feeling of worry, interest, or involvement in something that is important or meaningful to someone. deep concern, genuine concern, major concern, growing concern, serious concern, public concern, environmental concern, health concern, economic concern, social concern. The recent increase in pollution levels has raised significant concerns among the local residents. Counter, to respond to something or take action in opposition or contradiction to it. Counter-argument, counter-measure, counter-example, counterbalance, counterproductive, counter-attack, counter-offer, counter-top, counter-intelligence. The defendant's lawyer presented a strong counter-argument to refute the prosecution's claims. Comparatively indicate a comparison or contrast between two or more things. Comparatively speaking, comparatively high. Although the company's profits have decreased, they are still performing comparatively well compared to their competitors. Constitution, a written or unwritten set of fundamental principles or rules that govern a country, organization, or system. National Constitution, constitutional rights, constitutional amendment, constitutional monarchy, unwritten constitution. The United States Constitution is the supreme law of the land, outlining the structure of the government and protecting the fundamental rights of its citizens. Conventional, something that is based on or in accordance with accepted customs, practices, or standards. Conventional wisdom, conventional methods, conventional approach, conventional attire, conventional norms. According to conventional wisdom, it's best to save money for the future. Concurrent things happening or existing at the same time or overlapping with each other. Concurrent events, concurrent tasks, concurrent discussions, concurrent illnesses, concurrent studies. He was able to manage multiple concurrent tasks and meet all the deadlines. Collaboration, the act of working together with others to achieve a common goal or complete a task, often involving the sharing of ideas, resources, and responsibilities. Collaborative effort, team collaboration, collaborative project, collaborative partnership, cross-department collaboration. The success of the project was a result of the collaborative effort of the entire team. Condemn, to express strong disapproval or to pronounce something as wrong, unacceptable, or deserving of punishment. Condemn someone. Many people condemn the use of child labor in the garment industry. Connotation, the emotional or cultural associations and meanings that are attached to a particular word, beyond its literal definition. Positive connotation, negative connotation, neutral connotation, strong connotation, cultural connotation. The word brave has a positive connotation, implying courage and strength. Capital punishment, the legal execution of a person as a punishment for a serious crime, often involving the death penalty. Abolish capital punishment, imposition of capital punishment, controversy surrounding capital punishment, support for capital punishment, debate over capital punishment. There is an ongoing debate about whether to abolish capital punishment in this country. Compelling, something that is persuasive, convincing, or captivating, often invoking a strong emotional or intellectual response. Compelling argument, compelling story, compelling evidence, compelling reason, compelling performance. The lawyer presented a compelling argument that convinced the jury of the defendant's innocence. Census, the official process of collecting and recording information about the population of a specific area or country. National census, population census, household census, census data. Conduct a census. The government conducts a national census every 10 years to gather comprehensive data about the country's population. Consecutive, something that follows in uninterrupted or sequential order, with no gaps or breaks in between. Consecutive days, consecutive wins, consecutive numbers, consecutive years, consecutive sentences. The pattern of consecutive numbers is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Contamination, the presence or introduction of harmful or undesirable substances or elements into something that should be pure, clean, or free from impurities. Water contamination, soil contamination, air contamination, food contamination, chemical contamination. The river is facing severe water contamination due to industrial waste. Copyright, a legal right granted to the creator of an original work, such as a literary, artistic, or musical piece, giving them exclusive rights to reproduce, distribute, display, or perform their work. Copyright law, copyright infringement, copyright protection, copyright owner, copyright notice. The author consulted a lawyer to understand the copyright law and protect their intellectual property. Culture, the shared beliefs, customs, traditions, values, behaviors, and artifacts that characterize a particular group of people or society. Cultural diversity, cultural heritage, cultural norms, cultural identity, cultural exchange, cultural adaptation, cultural appreciation, cultural traditions, cultural significance, cultural expression. The festival celebrates the rich cultural heritage of the region, showcasing traditional music, dance, and cuisine. Combat, to engage in a fight, conflict, or struggle, typically against an opponent or a challenging situation. Combat violence, combat terrorism, combat injustice, combat fatigue, combat climate change, combat discrimination, combat illegal activities. The soldiers were well trained to combat the enemy forces on the battlefield. Chronic, a condition or disease that persists or lasts for a long period, typically 3 months or more. Chronic illness, chronic pain, chronic fatigue, chronic inflammation, chronic disease, chronic stress. She has been suffering from chronic back pain for several years, which significantly affects her daily life. Constructive, something that is positive, beneficial, or helpful in nature. Constructive criticism, constructive feedback, constructive dialogue, constructive approach, constructive thinking, constructive problem solving, constructive collaboration, constructive engagement. During the team meeting, Sarah provided constructive feedback on the project, highlighting areas for improvement and suggesting practical solutions. Cumulative, gradually increasing or growing by adding one thing after another. Cumulative effect, cumulative data, cumulative impact, cumulative knowledge, cumulative experience, cumulative growth, cumulative result, cumulative score. The cumulative effect of regular exercise is improved cardiovascular health and increased stamina. A contradiction, a situation where two or more statements, ideas, or actions are mutually exclusive or conflict with each other. Logical contradiction, contradictory statements, internal contradiction, contradictory evidence, contradictory opinions, contradictory beliefs, contradictory actions, contradictory findings. The politician's actions were in direct contradiction to his earlier promises of transparency and honesty. Consensus, general agreement or harmony among a group of people. Reaching a consensus, consensus building, consensus decision making, consensus opinion, consensus among experts, consensus on a topic. After lengthy discussions and deliberations, the committee finally reached a consensus on the new policy guidelines. Coincidence: the occurrence of two or more events or circumstances that happen simultaneously or by chance, without any apparent causal connection. Remarkable coincidence, strange coincidence, unusual coincidence, surprising coincidence, curious coincidence, fortuitous coincidence, uncanny coincidence, synchronistic coincidence, startling coincidence, bizarre coincidence. It was a strange coincidence that I ran into my old friend at the airport while we were both on vacation in a different country. Consumer: a person or entity that purchases goods or services for personal use or consumption. Consumer behavior, consumer rights, consumer satisfaction, consumer protection, consumer spending. Studying consumer behavior helps businesses understand their target market. Curriculum: a set of courses, subjects, and learning experiences that make up an educational program. School curriculum, college curriculum, curriculum development, core curriculum. Catalyst: a substance or agent that increases the rate of a chemical reaction without being consumed in the process. Catalyst for change, catalyst of innovation, catalyst for growth, catalyst for transformation, catalyst for development. The new technology served as a catalyst for efficiency improvements in the manufacturing process. Cogent: clear, logical, and convincing, often used to describe an argument or reasoning that is persuasive and well supported. Cogent argument, cogent analysis, cogent explanation, cogent presentation, cogent reasoning. The lawyer presented a cogent argument that convinced the jury of his client's innocence. Conjecture: a conclusion or opinion reached by speculation or guesswork rather than by definite knowledge or evidence. Speculative conjecture, unfounded conjecture, wild conjecture, baseless conjecture, subject to conjecture without concrete evidence, her theory remains mere conjecture. Convoluted: something that is complex, intricate, or difficult to understand due to its intricacy or excessive detail. Convoluted plot, convoluted reasoning, convoluted explanation, convoluted process, convoluted language. The convoluted legal document was filled with complex clauses and confusing terminology. Copious: abundant, plentiful, or in great quantity. Copious amounts, copious notes, copious rainfall, copious data, copious evidence. She took copious notes during the lecture to ensure she didn't miss any important details. Cryptic: something that is mysterious, obscure, or difficult to understand or interpret. Cryptic message, cryptic crossword, cryptic symbols, cryptic language, cryptic clues. The cryptic message left everyone puzzled and trying to decipher its hidden meaning. Culminate: to reach the highest point or climax, to come to completion, or to reach a final stage. Culminate in: culminate with, culminate event, culminate achievement, culminate journey. Years of hard work and dedication culminated in her winning the championship. Cursory: hasty, superficial, or done quickly without attention to detail. Cursory glance, cursory inspection, cursory review, cursory examination, cursory reading. Due to time constraints, she only gave the document a cursory glance before signing it. Cynical: being distrustful of others' motives or having a pessimistic outlook on life. Cynical attitude, cynical view, cynical perspective, cynical remark, cynical interpretation. He made a cynical remark about politicians, expressing his distrust in their intentions. Capricious: someone or something as unpredictable, impulsive, or subject to sudden changes without apparent reason. Capricious behavior, capricious nature, capricious decision, capricious weather, capricious mood. Her capricious nature made it difficult to predict her actions or reactions. Cathartic, something that provides emotional or psychological relief or release, often through the expression of strong emotions or experiences. Cathartic experience, cathartic release, cathartic effect, cathartic therapy, cathartic moment. Crying after a long and stressful day can be a cathartic experience, allowing one to release pent-up emotions. Circumspect, someone who is cautious, careful, and mindful of potential risks or consequences before taking action or making decisions. Circumspect approach, circumspect behavior, circumspect decision-making, circumspect attitude, circumspect analysis. Before signing the contract, he took a circumspect approach and thoroughly reviewed all the terms and conditions. Complacent, someone who is self-satisfied or contented to a fault, often accompanied by a lack of motivation or a failure to recognize potential dangers or problems. Complacent attitude, complacent behavior, complacent mindset, complacent approach, complacent outlook. He became complacent after achieving early success, which hindered his drive to further improve and excel in his field. Conundrum, a difficult or confusing problem or question that is challenging to solve or understand. Puzzling conundrum, perplexing conundrum, unsolvable conundrum, intellectual conundrum, moral conundrum. The ethical conundrum of whether to prioritize personal gain or societal well-being posed a challenging dilemma for the decision-makers. Chicanery, the use of deception or trickery, especially in order to achieve one's own goals or gain an unfair advantage. Political chicanery, legal chicanery, financial chicanery, corporate chicanery, intellectual chicanery. The businessman was known for his chicanery, employing various deceptive tactics to manipulate the market and gain an unfair advantage over his competitors. Clandestine, something that is done secretly or kept hidden, often because it is illicit, unauthorized, or confidential. Clandestine meeting, clandestine operation, clandestine affair, clandestine investigation, clandestine organization. The spies carried out a clandestine operation to gather intelligence from the enemy.